This ingredient completely transformed my hair, and it might transform yours too. It was a damaged, rough mess. This got it back to looking shiny and feeling healthy, or as healthy as dead cells can feel, I guess. I cannot go without it. It is amodimethicone. I'm Michelle, I'm a chemist and a massive nerd, so I'm going to talk about what amodimethicone is, how it works, and then talk about some products with it that are really good and a few that don't have it that also work really well. See, I can make videos when I'm not just mad about something. I can. What is amodimethicone? It is a silicone, but wait, it is not like the other silicones. Silicones have a reputation for building up and weighing hair down. It is not a very fair reputation. It depends so much on the formula and your hair. But amodimethicone gets around a lot of the problems anyway. A lot of people who usually avoid silicones, like people with curly hair, they've told me that it's worked really well for them, so don't just assume it won't work for you yet. Here's what's special about amodimethicone. Like other silicones, it has silicon and oxygen bonded together. This is what gives silicones a silky feel and that really nice spread. And this is amazing for so many products. It's in liquid foundations, hair care obviously, skincare, sunscreens. Silicones are really one of the ingredients that completely changed the beauty industry when they were first introduced. They were like the smartphone of beauty ingredients. I don't know, I couldn't think of a better analogy for that. There are two parts to the name. The dimethicone part refers to dimethicone, which is the most common type of silicone in beauty. It's kind of misunderstood because it's not a single ingredient. It is a family of ingredients that all have these units stuck together into a chain. So long chains in chemistry are called polymers. How many of these are stuck together can change. It's like different length necklaces, and depending on the length, these have different properties. So longer chains will feel heavier, shorter ones feel lighter, but they are all still called dimethicone. There are quite a few things like this where different ingredients are under the same name. It's one of the big reasons why you can't just rely on the ingredient list to work out which products to buy, which is probably going to be a topic for a future video. Let me know if you want to see that. So for the amo part of the name, there are two little things in the structure of amodimethicone that make a massive difference. First, there's the nitrogens here, which is the N's. Those are called amines, and I'm guessing it's the am part of the name. At a low enough pH, when it is more acidic, there's going to be more H+ around, and H+ can stick to these N's and give the amines a positive charge. That's going to be happening in your hair products, and this is handy for two big reasons. One, it helps stop it from weighing down your hair, because once there's enough amodimethicone stuck on, your hair will be slightly positively charged. The second reason is that damaged hair is more negatively charged than undamaged hair. There are a lot of different types of hair damage, and these are some of the more visible ones. This, by the way, is one of my favorite diagrams from my new book, The Science of Beauty. You can see that with a lot of these, you are losing stuff from the hair, and that's especially the cuticle on the surface, the dark bit. And this is bad because the surface of fresh, undamaged hair has this really thin layer of oily 18-methyl eicosanoic acid. Oh, that is like such a hard name for me to say. It means there's 20 carbons. The abbreviation is 18-MEA. These are chemically bonded to the surface, and it's sort of like the hair's permanent natural conditioner. It's called the F layer. The rest of the hair is mostly made of protein, and it's almost all not oily. It's hydrophilic, which means water-loving. And when the pH is above the hair's isoelectric point, which is about pH 3.7, these exposed proteins are negatively charged. There's also microscopic chemical damage, which is when the F layer breaks off, and that also leaves negatively charged groups. So when it's damaged, there is a lot of negative, and opposite charges attract. The positive amodimethicone is going to be more attracted to these negative damaged areas. You might have seen some products say that it targets hair damage and assumed it was just some marketing BS, but there is actually this chemical difference with damaged hair. It's not quite as magical as it sounds, but this can be pretty important if your hair is quite damaged. Uncharged conditioning ingredients just do not stick very well to damaged hair because the hair is too hydrophilic. Uncharged ingredients need the F layer to stick to. This is the whole oil doesn't mix with water thing. Your hair is basically water if it's damaged. I mean, it isn't water. Hair is not water. It is just more on like the watery side of things. Please no one quote me as saying hair is water. Okay, the other special thing on amodimethicone is the OHs. These allow it to cross-link, which means that when the amodimethicone is on your hair, these OHs are like little hands that can start holding each other as it dries. This means that you get a more durable film that can last through several washes, and the positive charge also helps with this. Now, this might sound bad because it sounds like buildup, but you don't actually need to always wash conditioner off. Your F layer, that natural thing that your conditioners are trying to replicate, is permanent, so if it's a thin film, it isn't really a big problem. Also, when I say film, I don't mean like a continuous film. Conditioners deposit in blobs. They're never going to just block everything from getting in and out of your hair. Anyway, having a longer lasting conditioner is handy for really damaged hair. It helps prevent damage when you're washing. When your hair's wet, it's more fragile, plus it's getting moved around a whole bunch, it's bashing, there's a lot of physical trauma going on. And the whole point of conditioner is really protecting against a lot of this physical mechanical trauma. I see a lot of people say that silicones are just covering up damage, like that's a really bad thing, but it's not. Hair is dead. It is like a piece of wood. If it's jagged and rough, it's going to snag, bits will break off, but if you smooth it down and then paint it, that paint is shielding it against further damage. So what all of this science background translates to, when I first bleached my hair about 6 years ago, I was just not prepared at all for what to expect. I was like an absolute sweet summer child. My hair was originally resistant with low porosity. It's just like standard straight Asian hair, which is pretty much what I have up here. Almost any conditioner would just be fine. It was actually really difficult for me to review different products because my hair was just fine with anything. That was actually one of the reasons I bleached it. But afterwards, the learning curve was just massive. When my hair was wet, it just went really stretchy and elastic. It felt like wet instant noodles, and it felt like it would snap like wet instant noodles. And then when it was dry, it was usually just really rough and stiff and crunchy and felt like straw. Most of the time it was like this because I had no idea what I was doing. But sometimes it was really nice and soft and smooth, and I couldn't work out why until I started seeing a pattern with amodimethicone in my products. Plus, it would be a lot less stretchy and noodly when it was wet, and I got a lot less split ends. It looked so much shinier. It just looked and behaved a lot more like undamaged hair. I used to think that the secret was just not to wash my hair as often, but these days I wash my hair almost every day, and amodimethicone just saves it. My hair is actually belly button length when I let it out, and this was bleached all the way from black to white, and then I put purple on it. Some days I can't find any split ends, which I think is just a massive achievement. Onto the products part of the video. Now, obviously I haven't tried all the products out there. If you have something that's really good, please let me know in the comments. Here are some of my favorite ways to use amodimethicone. Wash-off conditioners are my favorite way to use amodimethicone because washing my hair properly with water just resets it into shape. Sometimes that spiky straw feeling is just when the hair's dry in a bent configuration instead of smooth and aligned. Wetting my hair helps, but not quite as much as just really soaking it with warm water. It's also a lot harder to apply too much of the conditioning ingredients because you are rinsing off the excess that didn't stick. Plus, having water just makes it so much easier to distribute the product. The really annoying thing about all of these products is that performance depends so much on the formula, so just seeing amodimethicone on the list isn't any sort of guarantee. It has given me a much better success rate though, so hopefully it does for you as well. This is one of my favorites, the Toni & Guy Volume Addiction Conditioner. There are a couple of different versions. The one that works well for me is the one with amodimethicone as the third ingredient. There is another version where it's the 10th ingredient, but it doesn't work so well for me. I really didn't expect this to work well because, it says volume, but I took a gamble based on where amodimethicone was in the list, and that paid off. I picked this up with my groceries. It's on sale a lot, just really nice product, but not easily available outside of Australia. The Liza Vecca Ser 100 Collagen Ceramide Coating Protein Treatment. Obviously it's a protein treatment, but I feel like the amodimethicone is doing quite a lot of the heavy lifting here. It is really nice, but it is a bit small. The Redken Acidic Bonding Concentrate Conditioner, the L'Oreal Everpure Bond Strengthening Conditioner, plus the L'Oreal Elvive Bond Repair Conditioner. I chucked out the tube of that, but those two L'Oreal products are like the cheaper mass market version of this. They have really similar ingredients and formulas, but the cheaper ones are almost definitely designed to not work quite as well. These have amodimethicone, but they also have a variation of amodimethicone, which is bis-cetearyl amodimethicone. That means the amodimethicone has these long fatty acid chains at the end, and that will give you more of that traditional conditioner feel. The Redken seems to work better than the other ones on my hair. The conditioning is just more intense, it lasts longer, I don't need to use quite as much product, but if your hair is less bleach damaged, then maybe the other ones will have a similar effect. L'Oreal Elvive conditioners. A lot of these have amodimethicone, but it's been a bit of a mixed bag for me, and again, it is probably more of that like formulation complexity thing. Out of these, the one that's worked the best has been the Hyaluron Plump, but amodimethicone is actually quite low on the list. These two didn't work quite as well, but it's like ingredient 3 and 4, so yeah, conditioners are annoying. It is so much about the formula rather than just having the right ingredients. I think these two are discontinued now. I really hate how hair care products get discontinued all the time. I get that they are trying to improve the formulas, but as a reviewer who likes to try things out for longer, it is just extremely annoying for me. I also use leave-on conditioners. These are really great for conditioning my hair when my wash-off conditioner didn't work very well. I try a lot of new products out and sometimes they do not work as well, so these are just really handy to get my hair back to like nice. These two work really nicely for me, the Garnier Fructis Sleek and Shine and the L'Oreal Elvive Dream Lengths No Haircut Cream. Both of these are pretty similar and I use maybe like a Mentos-sized blob. I mostly focus it on like my hair from the chin downwards. My hair also just really loves the Redken Acidic Perfecting Concentrate Leave-In Treatment. My hair loves this range, it's great for me. It is pricier. I tend to use like a much smaller blob, maybe like 2 Tic Tacs in size. This one just seems to spread a bit better as well. I personally find that if I use these ones on dry hair, it kind of feels like I'm spreading it like all around the outside of my hair and it's not like in the middle. I'm sure if you're more patient than me, you probably are, you can probably apply these like a bit more systematically, section out your hair and it'll work better, but I'm a bit lazy. This one just spreads really, really nicely. There are also some sprays that I like, and a lot of the time the ones that I see with amodimethicone have like the word detangling on them. I really like sprays because you don't have to wash your hands afterwards. They seem to spread a bit more nicely, especially if you like brush them out rather than the cream where you have to do a lot more effort and working. These two were the first two I tried, and unfortunately I think both of them are discontinued. This one has been reformulated, but I haven't tried it. Both of these have amodimethicone as the second ingredient. They worked great. Stop discontinuing things, it's really annoying. This one is not discontinued, it is the Johnson's No More Tangles Detangling Spray. I got this off iHerb, it's a US product. It smells pretty strongly, which seems to be a trend with US products. And yeah, I know it says it's for like toddlers and kids, and it says that it's gentler than adult products, and it's got like a lion on the front, but it works really well. There's been a lot of research into silicone alternatives, mostly so that products that are silicone-free can still work nicely and people are happy with them and will rebuy them. Over the years, I have tried a lot of these, and it's only within like the last year where products have actually worked on my hair and it feels like they are as good as maybe the amodimethicone products that didn't work quite as well. First, there are lamella waters. These have pretty standard conditioning ingredients, so fatty alcohols and quaternary ammoniums. The difference is that they're formulated so they distribute and stick onto your hair better. They work much better on my hair than regular conditioners, but I found that the effect doesn't last quite as long as amodimethicone, and they are like a little bit annoying and fussy to use. When I'm in the shower, it just kind of feels like I'm losing a whole bunch of product through my fingers. The JVN Undamaged Strengthening Conditioner, I hate the whole clean thing associated with them. It is like really cringe for me, but I have to admit this conditioner works really well on my hair. I think is discontinued as well. I think it is an overall formulation thing. The ingredient that I think is working really nicely is the brasicamido propyl dimethylamine. This is an amine ingredient, so it forms a charge when it's acidic, and I've tried this ingredient in other products as well as very similar ingredients, and this just works a lot better. The Type B conditioner, I tried this for a sponsored post, although this video is not sponsored. I was really surprised by this. It feels kind of oily when I'm putting it on, but then it doesn't make my hair feel oily afterwards. It feels really soft and smooth after it's dried. I think it's the polyglycerol 3 betainate acetate. It is another quaternary ammonium and it's relatively rare in products. The L'Oreal Elvive Hyaluron Plump Spray also works really nicely for me, no silicones in it. I found this really good for resetting crunchy ends, and it is better than the Johnson spray, to be honest. It feels a lot softer, it's just like really nice for refreshing my hair, but it doesn't give as shiny a look as the Johnson spray. Let me know what amodimethicone products worked really well for you. If you like this video, you might also like my book, The Science of Beauty. It answers a whole bunch of questions on hair care, skincare, nail care, makeup, and just beauty products in general. My best hair care hacks are in this video. All my hair videos are here.